Alrighty, so this is the community visual needs assessment. It's by Dataria, which is me, Evelyn,
Hi.
Brianna, and Cassie. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next slide if I can do it. Okay, there we go.
Hello, my name's Evelyn, and I will be discussing the demographics in our community we selected. The community is Lake Forest, Laverne. Within these homes, as seen in the pictures above, they do include 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. Usually in these homes, you will usually see young families or people who are able to move up and down the stairs since it is more than one floor. The housing usually starts off at $234,000 and can go up to $244,000. Okay, and the location for our community is in the northern side of Rutherford County and southeast of Nashville. As seen in the screen, the community is also beneath the lake, the Percy Priest Lake. According to the website of lavernetennessee.gov, the population within a 5-mile radius of the intersection of I-24 is 83,789. Within this population, it is further broken down into groups of communities such as Caucasian, African American, Asians, 2 or more races. They also include Latinos and non-Latinos. As mentioned before, you will typically see a young person or families living in these. So the average age of a person living in the community is 33 years old. Within this community, 48.89% of them are male, 51.11% of them are females. It also explains that there are more homeowners than there are renters. As for the history of the Lake Forest community, it was established in 1993. Since the community is fairly new, I will be looking at the history of Laverne. Laverne was first known as Buckneville. The name originated from 2 brothers who were Sam and John. Looking at the history of Laverne. Laverne was first known as Buckneville, and the name originated from 2 brothers who were Sam and John. In the late 1700s, the city received their first residents. By 1820, the Deruloc family moved into the city. Now, I mention them because they do play a big role in how the city is named today. There was a man named Francois. He was a French man. His full name was Francois Leonard Gregory Deruloc de Laverne. It is a big name. But he had a brother-in-law who served the Civil War and was promised acres of land in Rutherford County, but he did pass away, and Francois inherited those lands. So when he passed away in 1852, the city was then renamed to Laverne. By 1862, there were at least 7 Civil War battles fought in the city. Due to this, the buildings in Laverne were damaged, and it did cause the city to start again from scratch. The Civil War did cause for the city to be revoked from being incorporated. This could be seen as a hindrance to the city because it stopped the city from growing and selecting their officials. It wasn't until 1972 when the city of Laverne was incorporated. To make sense of how behind the city was, Smyrna was incorporated in 1872.
Move on.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
And there's 6 areas of assessment. We rank them from education, environmental concerns, commerce, and recreation and safety.
All right, hello, I'm Bree and I have education. Um, there is a picture on the right. Laverne is actually known as a childcare desert, which means there's rarely, if any, childcare facilities. That's the ones that are in home or like chain ones. So if you look at the Laverne map on the left, there's only like two dots, maybe three, right downtown Laverne. So you definitely have to travel, which could be really stressful for families who live in that area and don't necessarily need to drive farther than they need to. As far as education goes, aside from like the public schools that Lake Forest is zoned for, um, the Laverne Public Library offers educational learning experiences, but they all are not free. There's one or two that you do have to pay for, but it is within like a 4 mile travel from the Lake Forest community, so it's pretty close. Here's a few things that they offer. Um, these are usually offered Monday through Thursday. However, because of COVID, they have paused all these activities. Once Upon a Story Time is for ages 2 and up, and they do work on early literature. They sing songs, do crafts, read books. Little Treasures is for birth to 24 months. They essentially do the same thing as the Once Upon a Story Time, but they don't do the literature part. It's more of music and letting them dance along to the beats. Jammies and Stories, that's for a child of any age. This is usually done at nighttime, late evening, and any age child can dress up in their pajamas and bring their favorite blanket or toy or whatever, and they listen to bedtime stories each night. Um, they have a homeschool story time. It's only offered for kids who are in kindergarten to third grade, and it is for homeschool students, so that way they can. Oh gosh, pause. Hold on. Okay. They can come together and read books together. It'll give them experience to hang out with other children since they aren't in public school. Spanish for language, Spanish language for adults and children is open to anyone, and that one is free. It's offered at the library. Library tutors will come in and teach Spanish to anyone who wants to learn. The English as a second language is offered to anyone. However, you do have to pay for that one. It said fees may apply on the website, but it wouldn't tell me exactly how much the fees are. But that one is ran by a nonprofit organization that is held at the library as well. The ESL is available in every state, so whenever you go to their website, it'll give you like a drop down list of all the states, and you pick what county you want to look at, and then it'll give you a bunch of different options for where they hold the tutoring sessions. As far as public education goes, Lake Forest is zoned for Title I schools. So they have Laverne Lake Elementary, Laverne Middle School, and Laverne High School. They're all government funded schools. The closest private school that you have to test into is in Smyrna, and it's about a 20-minute drive from Lake Forest. These educational opportunities that they do have when they are in session could strengthen the community, but it could also hinder the community because they're not available. So not everyone is able to get extra learning experiences like some other communities would have.
For environmental concerns, the people within Lake Forest don't need to worry about their air quality since it is considered to be fair, The neighborhood also doesn't need to worry about flooding since the likelihood of flooding within 30 years is less than 3%. However, a major concern is a tunnel near the neighborhood. That's a way to describe it. As seen in the picture above on the screen, the pathway for cars to go through is very narrow, and it's especially dangerous when it rains because cars are not given enough friction to stop and does cause many accidents. Um, this is a concern that it even leads for the street to be blocked. Another concern is the remaining dirt from the building construction. Families do live in these homes, so for children to go out and play, it could be dangerous for them because they could get injured due to any material that has been left behind.
Okay. So for commerce, we have a Regions Bank and a Walgreens. The reason I put Regions Bank, the requirements, because in comparison to some other banks that may be a little bit more expensive, so it may not be as advantageous for lower income communities to take heed into Regions Bank services. So Regions Bank requires that you give a $50 minimum deposit, and it is an $11 monthly fee. And there are no other banks that I saw in the area. And then Walgreens serves medicinal and general needs for the community. So moving on. So we talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how, on the bottom of that totem pole is food, shelter. So food is basically taken care of by Walmart and Kroger. Walmart carries, like I said, medicinal needs, general needs for the community, and food needs. And then Kroger is, a pharmacy and a grocery store. So they do have their options in regard to that. Continual commerce. I also noticed that they had a few affordable stores, or like I like to say, a mixture of big box stores and low end stores. And like no offense to like Dollar Tree, Save by the Dollar General, but just a mixture so that it can meet the needs of the community for people who are not able to afford some of those services that the big box stores provide. They do have a lack of clothing stores in more than a 2 mile radius. So I can see that as a hindrance and as them having to go far for clothes for other than like Walmart, because Walmart does sell clothes and Walgreens and Dollar General, but probably not like the type of clothes that you want to wear on a day-to-day basis, I guess. I don't know. If you wanted to have like more variety, you would have to drive more than 2 miles to get that variety of clothing for those people who want it. Okay, so for recreation, it wasn't much that I could find. So I just said like so somebody, okay, I need help trying to say this. Los Agaveros Mexican Grill and Bar. So
Yes,
that's correct. Is that right?
yes, you
Okay.
did good.
Okay, good. Okay. So that like I said, these are like hangout spots. You can hang out, I guess, at KFC or this Mexican Grill and Bar. And like I said, it's not many things that I saw that was there to offer. So they do have like fast food needs and like I guess the more high end food pricing would be at the Mexican restaurant, and I guess the more low end price would be at KFC. So that is definitely an option. And then like I said, these restaurants they allow for people in the community to have a need of belonging in the community. Okay, moving on to recreation, some more. So they have the Greenway, which I think it runs from Laverne to Nashville, if I'm not mistaken. And so, like I said, it's a mixture of paid recreation and free recreation. So, like I said, it's still appealing to the needs of people of all socioeconomic statuses. So he has a Planet Fitness. The Greenway stretches 180 miles, which I think is pretty far. And then Planet Fitness, like I said, $50 deposit, $10 membership fee. Like it's pretty expensive, so it provides a mixture of needs. And then also have the library on here. So they do have several programs with fees. Like I say, can be a hindrance for some people, but they do have like that same mixture. So it seems like that's the motif with the Lake Forest area of having that mixture to provide to all different people. And they have free books and free crafts, and they do virtual craft kits because of COVID, like Brianna mentioned. So yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, so I have safety. Lake Forest Laverne has a crime rate of a B, which means that this area is overall really safe. According to Crime Grade, a crime occurs every 11 hours and 14 minutes on average. On the percentile for safety, this area lands on the 62nd percentile. And the chances of being involved in a crime are 1 in 34 chances involved in a crime in East neighborhoods and 1 in 49 chances in the Southwest neighborhoods. There are currently no hospitals in this area, but there's one clinic that recently opened up, which is 31 minutes away. And I said this was a safety issue because if something really bad happened and there was an issue that needed to be taken care of immediately, there would be a wait and a drive there, which would be very unsafe. The clinic has both primary care as well as an urgent care, and this is beneficial, although it's very expensive. The fire station is located 14 minutes away, as well as the police station, which is 8 minutes away. SWOT analysis. Some strengths in this community are that the neighbors live close together in this area, so it is more united, which means that they can build more relationships and they can help each other and rely on each other more. And there's also easy access to fast food and banks. Some weaknesses include not lots of access to healthcare in this area and no college in the area. Opportunities is that many warehouses are hiring for decent pay rates, which include Amazon and FedEx. And some threats is that the population is growing, which means more traffic, creating pollution to the air.
As for values within the Lake Forest community, um, don't worry. The Lake Forest community values a clean environment. This can be seen since the lawn is usually kept cut most of the time. You can also see that each neighbor holds an integrity in their property due to how they don't litter in the area. There is no trash seen around the community. The community also tends to be very peaceful and respectful since they do live close together. They do have a limit of how loud they can be. Apart from this, it's very rare for people to see any commotion going on outside. The only times people ever do leave their house is to either walk their dogs or go outside with their children to the playground, which is usually kept in the back of the neighborhood, which they only have access to. But apart from that, there is no commotion going on. So it's a very peaceful neighborhood.
Okay. So for stakeholders, I made this this diagram. I'm sorry, it's just funny because I'm looking at Megan and I don't understand what's going on with the picture. So the stakeholders, like I said, are like city officials. And I have the Laverne City Hall because these are the people that have the voice for all the neighborhoods and towns in Laverne. Um, So you can see all these people, the mayor, Jason, and all the aldermen and things like that. And these community members can appeal to city hall personnel to get to, just so that they can see their needs and meet their needs. Okay, and I also said that another stakeholder will be United Way of Rutherford and Canyon County. I know it's biased because I'm intern at the United Way, but I do know that they have programs that can address some of the needs of the Lake Forest community. It can address certain needs concerning education, shelter, health, like Cassie was talking about with the hospital, and other programs that assist with community needs. I also put the law offices of Charles R. Frazier. He is a civil lawyer. And I said lawyers can be powerful status holders and advocates for their community. So advocacy from a nonprofit can also grab media attention, thus engaging an audience and change in the community. And then I guess I want to talk about one of the impeding forces, and I guess that impeding force could be from an economic and political perspective, and that their community leaders may not have the funding to pour into high need areas, or they may not completely understand the scope of their needs, so therefore may not know how to really allocate funds. Okay. Oh, this is me too. Great. Okay, so strategy to relay project findings, like I was talking about earlier, like a presentation to City Hall, Council, men and women to bring awareness to certain issues, bring awareness to community issues on social media. Like I said, it could be a powerful tool. Present community issues among top priority to the community at large. So just trying to get that community to buy in, so that they can appeal to their city leaders. And that's it. And here are our references. So that's all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.